Hey friend, Mike McCurry here. Thank you so much for listening to Bible Tract Echoes. I greatly appreciate your time today and this week. To each of our faithful listeners, thank you so very much. And to those of you joining me maybe for the first time, I appreciate the fact that you try us on for size. Now, did you know that at BTI we produce some tract stories? We enjoy hearing how God has blessed, and we enjoy hearing how people have accepted Christ as a result of gospel tracts. Now, we print, of course, tracts by the millions. We've printed over 620 million gospel tracts over the last 85 years. And that may sound like an impressive number, but we need to do even more. We need to reach even further. We need to touch even more countries. We've touched almost 200 different countries with our tracts, but the job is not done. We have work to do. So I'd ask your friend, do you enjoy tract stories? We produce some at BTI. And if you'd like to see our tract stories, we just released a new one, a story of two young people, Douglas and Adriana, and how God used Douglas and a solitary single gospel tract to see his cousin, I believe it was, Adriana, come to know Christ. And you're going to want to hear that story. It's told by one of the adults with intimate knowledge of that family and that story. I'd encourage you, go to BibleTractsInc.org. That's BibleTractsInc.org. Or if you want the direct link, text me. Tell me, I want to hear that tract story. Text me at 309-316-7240. That's 309-316-7240. It's just about 4 or 5 minutes long or so, and you can see how God is using tracts. For me, these stories are a great inspiration because it encourages me to use tracts myself more because I see the impact. Have you ever considered what 85 years looks like? There may be listeners, I know there are, because some of you dear folks text me. There are folks listening right now, dear senior saints, that you are about 80, 85, maybe even 90 years old. I had someone text me the other day, was 90 years old. I was thinking, good night. That was awesome to hear from someone that has served God so long and so faithfully. What a blessing that is. But did you know BTI has been around for 85 years? 1930, though, a little further back than 85 years, Dr. Paul Levine first started preaching. I don't think he was a doctor at that point yet. He got that later on. But in 1938, Bible Tracts Inc. began shipping tracts for the very first time. 1958, 20 years later, Bible Tract Echoes, the radio program you're listening to right now, did you know it started all the way back in 1958? That makes it 65 years old. Wow. 1974, the 250 millionth tract was shipped. 1996, Dr. Paul went home to heaven. I think it was 94 that his dear wife went to heaven. But then Brother Mark Smith came on board and did a wonderful job for about 15 years there. And he hung it up to go back into the pastorate. He decided Bible Tracts, being the director, was too easy and he wanted to go back in the pastorate. No, I'm joking. The Lord led him back to the pastorate. And we're so thankful for the work he's doing in Western Pennsylvania. But because of that, a guy named Mike McCurry, some guy, this guy, yeah, yours truly. I became director January 1st of 2020. That means I'm ending my 5th year at BTI. And in 2021, the 600 millionth tract was shipped. What a blessing it is. 2023, over 600 souls accepted Christ. Again this year, 2024, over 600 souls. BTI's first 5 gospel films were produced in 2024, but we don't plan on slowing down. And we want to reach the world where they are. So speaking of, God has broadened the borders of BTI in recent days. Now, for decades, we've been blessed to produce high quality and engaging tracts by the millions. But God has opened additional doors in 2024. Early this year, we began production on our first of many gospel films, and to date, we've produced 5 different films, and we are just getting started. If you'd like to see those, text the word film. Text the word film to my number. I'll give that number one more time. It's 309-316-7240. Give that to you again. 309-316-7240. We're thankful for the significant inroads that we've had to reach people of all walks of life through our tracts. From the down and out to the rich and mighty, untold numbers have accepted Christ through these simple pieces of paper. And in the present day, God continues to open doors. As I already mentioned, 600 plus people have received Christ through our tracts just this year, but we have additional opportunities, namely because the world has changed a little bit in the last 85 years. Do you know people didn't carry cell phones 85 years ago? Do you know people weren't glued to the television 85 years ago? But what's going on today? Well, the global average, the average person on average, global, spends 6 hours and 40 minutes daily on screens. The U.S. average is 7 hours and 3 minutes. Now, get this now. Over half of 2 and unders, 2 years old, 0 to 2-year-olds, have interacted with smartphones already. 8 to 24-year-olds, average daily screen time, 7.5 hours. 24 to 44 years old. You say, oh, it's all those young people. No. 24 to 44, the average daily screen time, 6 hours, 45 minutes. 44 to 64 years old, average daily screen time, 5.5 hours. Average daily screen time increases by about 3 minutes each year. So 3 minutes per day each year. So next year, those averages will go up 3 minutes or so each day. Now, we can lament the lack of interpersonal skills and societal ills accompanying these trends, but we are also presented with an opportunity. Will we be able to drag the world away from their phones and screens completely? Likely not. Probably not. Should we stop printing tracts and throw our hands up in disgust because tracts have lost to the smartphone? No, absolutely not. We still have a mandate, and we still continue to see great success in reaching people outside their screens through our tracts. I've said it many times, but I believe our tracts are even more powerful today because they have a physical quality to them that can't be found in a phone screen. But we also have another opportunity. While all the above may be true, everything I've just said may be true, we also see an opportunity to reach people in a personal way through their screens. That's why we've recently begun producing gospel films. Now you can find, I'll tell you more about these in just a little while, but I want to draw your attention to 2 things you might not already know. I've told you that we've completed 5 gospel films, but I would say we probably completed one of our best ones just a little while ago. This beautifully, wonderfully produced film. It was a labor of love, and I want you to see it. It's called A Place Called Home. A Place Called Home. And if you'd like to see it, I want you to text the word film to 309-316-7240. A Place Called Home. Every single shot in this, that's 6 or 7 minutes. It's not a feature-length film. I don't want to get you overawed or expecting something that's not true. It's not an hour and 30 minutes long. It's about 6 minutes or so, but it's a clear, concise presentation of the gospel from a perspective that people may have not seen before. Well, I know there's a certain group of people that have never seen it that way because it's set in and based around Clinton, Illinois. It's a gospel film that was made specifically for the people of Clinton, Illinois. You say, well, I don't live in Clinton, Illinois. Pause for a moment. What if we could make a gospel film for your town, for the people that know what your water tower looks like, the people that know what your high school looks like, the people that know what your general store, those people. We made a film for those people in Clinton, Illinois. But we want to take this further. A Place Called Home. Honestly, I believe it's a great gospel presentation, and you can see it. Text the word film to 309-316-7240. But I want you to realize video productions like this cost a lot of money. The equipment, the work that goes into making a gospel film of this evident quality requires investment. Camera equipment, cinema level camera equipment. I'm not talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's not cheap. And we believe God is leading us to do even more in this vein. If the Lord allows, we are praying towards and planning, if the Lord allows and the Lord provides, to invest around $10,000 in the need for this level of equipment soon. Our desire is to do even more. And you realize, I told you, screen time is only going up. We want to do more. We want to reach people even more. But consider this. Each of these productions, once finished, unlike Tracts, don't cost anything to share. They can be texted, posted, and viewed at no additional cost. For instance, how long could that production, A Place Called Home, how long could it be a gospel witness online? That gospel film could see people accepting Christ over a decade from now without any additional investment, just because it lives on YouTube or on a church website, because it gets texted to someone. A tract, every one of them, they're small. They don't cost a lot, but you add them up into the millions, they cost a lot of money. And each additional one costs another couple of cents, another few cents, another few cents. A gospel film, once it's made, doesn't cost anything for you to text it to someone. And that's what we're working on. We want a gospel film for each of our tracts someday in the future. We want to do gospel films for your town sometime in the future, and we'd like you to help us with that. We want you to pray for us. More important than your money, we want you to pray that God would provide for this need. I said, cinema equipment, we're not looking to spend $100,000, but I can tell you, you could easily, depending on the level of production you're going for, and we want to do a lot of these. They could get very expensive very quickly, but we believe it's worthwhile because of who we're doing it for. We're doing it for Christ our King, but we're doing it to reach people with the glorious gospel of Jesus. So I ask you, Christian friend, would you pray that God provides for even more of these productions to be made? And would you consider giving to make that possible? Maybe you're a pastor. Maybe you'd like a custom gospel film made for your church, for your town. And I'd love to provide you with a proposal for what your investment can provide. Or if you'd feel led to give so we can make more gospel films for our international partners, I don't want to charge our missionaries a whole bunch of money to make this possible. I just want to do it for them. And that's our desire, just like with our tracts. We want to make it possible for these dear folks. They're reaching people in Kenya, Madagascar, Tanzania, New Zealand. Honestly, friend, we already have dates on the calendar for all of those things. But we believe God can provide. We're going to pray in faith. We believe he can. If you'd like more information, text me 309-316-7240 or visit BibleTractsInc.org. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk more tomorrow. Have a great day for his glory. God bless.
Thank you for joining us today for Bible Tract Echoes, a ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. If you would like to receive a free sample booklet of all of our tracts, you can contact us by calling 309-828-6888. That's 309-828-6888. Our mailing address is P.O. Box 130, Dwight, Illinois 60420. A faster way to contact us is to go to our website at BibleTractsInc.org. That's BibleTractsInc.org. There you will find more information about our ministry and details on how you can support Bible Tracts Incorporated. Thanks for listening, and may the Lord richly bless you as you serve Him.